Welcome to Horror Movie Massacre, brought to you by the Horror Syndicate. I'm Ray, or Razor, or Raymond, or whatever. Anyway, welcome to the show. We're coming to you live as we do on most Tuesday nights, and we've got a new topic, a new top 10 list, and this is a two-part episode. Part one, we will be doing, as the thumbnail shows, the top 10 Stephen King film adaptations. So there are some stipulations here. First of all, these are horror movies. They were not released as a miniseries. They were not released as a season-long television series. And I think most of these, if not all of them, got theatrical releases. But regardless, they were released as films. So Gerald's Game does not count because technically it's released to streaming. Salem's Lot 2024 does not count. It was only released to streaming on Peacock, I think. So movies like that won't count, as Gerald's Game and 1912 were both released uh, to Netflix. So we're talking about The Shining and Doctor Sleep and Cujo and Christine, things like that. Uh, and we got some honorable mentions. I've got some non-horror mentions I'd like to throw out there, and that's what the show is. Next week, we will be doing the other ones, the top 10 Stephen King miniseries, TV series adaptations. One of them, I don't know if you call it an adaptation or if it's something else, like Castle Rock's what I'm talking about. I don't. Let's bring in the expert here. What would you call Castle Rock? That's not an adaptation because it's based on stuff that happens, like characters and such are in the Stephen King universe and locations and stuff like that and events. They even talk about events.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's supposed to be sort of like an extension, but also I think not necessarily even in the same reality. There's this whole thing with Stephen King books, all connected to the Dark Tower and the different, I forget what they call them. But anyway, because one of the things that kind of annoyed me about the Castle Rock show is that um, it didn't really seem like needful things happened. That's a big story. That was for a long time. That was the last Castle Rock story, um, and yeah. So it's the Castle Rock show is like sort of like it's supposed to be an extension of the Castle Rock world, but it's also sort of like its own thing at the same time. Second season they do like almost like a prequel to Misery with
Mm-hmm.
Annie Wilkes, and yeah. it's on a headband. I'm wearing a hat.
It's hot.
It's
Shit.
backwards.
Sean Denson. Oh, hey man. Hope you're well. Hope the
Yeah.
hospital visit isn't for a bad thing, because some people just like to go to hospitals in the middle of the night and pretend it's Halloween too.
Well,
Uh,
he said before that he had a heart attack or something like that.
oh,
So
did he? I didn't. I don't remember that. I'm sorry, man. Hopefully you're doing okay.
yeah,
Jeez, my head out of my own ass, I guess. Well, Sean, our thoughts are with you in a speedy recovery for sure.
yeah.
Um,
And
yeah. So as far as
to address,
not,
oh
go
sorry,
ahead.
to address Matt Torrance, I don't think I'm Superman. I am Superman. Just want to
There
throw
you
that out.
go. And to address the non-horror films, we've got movies like Stand by Me,
Hmm.
which is an amazing film all on its own. Most of us who grew up in the '80s grew up and we watched this movie.
Yep.
We regale our friends with, "You got to see the movie because of Lardass," or the Ray Brower, the Dead Kid.
Yep.
Great movie. You like Stand by Me?
Oh yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Grew up with it. Showed it to to my youngest daughter, Violet. She actually loves it too. We've been trying to get my oldest daughter, Scarlett, to watch it, but it's Stand By Me is like early Castle Rock story.
Hmm. The Green Mile. I'm not as
Right?
fond of this as many people are. Just not my cup of tea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's not one that I rewatch a lot. I actually watched it last summer, and the funny thing was like Amber wasn't interested in watching it at all, and then she just kind of got sucked into it, and like we had to make it a 2 night thing because she got tired and had to go to bed early. But
Mm.
I think it's a really solid adaptation. I think Frank Darabont does the best adaptations of
Damn, dude.
King's works.
Sean, man, get well. That's awful to hear.
Yeah, man.
And the last one we'll throw up there is, of course, Shawshank Redemption, which is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. Period. It's one of my favorite. And insert period joke from Matt Torrance, I'm sure. But I love Shawshank Redemption. I saw this in the theater when it came out because I actually saw the trailer or the previews on TV and I was like, damn, this looks really good. So I was like 14, I think, when it came out, and there was a dollar show, and I went up there with my girlfriend and I fingered her during the movie. And then I started noticing that I really was enjoying the movie. So I went back after the makeout session and watched it again. And after the fingering. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that
Shout out to
experience.
Kim Schafer.
I don't have that experience. I didn't get to see it in the theater, but yeah, that's a fantastic movie. I think it improves upon the short story that it's based on. So
I've never read the story it's based on.
it's a short story, and what is it? All see what is it? The fuck is that name of that book? It's also got wait, does it have that? No, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind.
Okay. As far we've got a bunch of horror films that didn't make the list, but we'll start with the newest one, which Seth hasn't seen yet, so we won't talk too much. The Monkey. I saw it in the theater the day it came out. It's zany, it's crazy, it's wild, it's fucking. It surprised me. I love it. It was really good, worth seeing. Make sure you check it out. I know it's based on probably another short story. I don't know offhand, but I really thought it was fantastic. It was fun. It was not like, don't go into it expecting a deep horror film with uh I don't know, different themes and shit. It's kind of dumb in some ways, but it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. Uh, and I definitely recommend seeing it. I think it's streaming now. So Seth, see The Monkey. This will make our top 25 list, I think, of 2025 for sure.
Okay.
I think
I definitely want to see it. I just never got around to it, and then I actually forgot about it until you mentioned it on your list. Do you mind if I highlight a comment real quick?
if it's this one.
So, no, it wasn't going to be that one, but thank you, Ron and Itchy, for yeah, it was different seasons. It was the first story in that. Uh, whoops, this one here. Yes, the last rung on the ladder is an awesome story. It's very sad. It's a sad story, but I love the Night Shift book. That was it. Sorry.
Cool. A couple of ones I've never seen. Seth, 1408.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I didn't really have like when I saw the trailers for it, I was like, this looks okay, but it's actually it kind of pulls you in. It's primarily all in one location, and it works, man. I think you may dig it. I think you should check it out, Ray.
Maybe I will. I think I have it. I think I actually own it. Don't forget, if you're out there watching, hit the like button for us. It helps. Uh, I always forget to say that shit. Okay, so another one that I have not seen, and I've got a funny story. The Secret Window. Uh, I bought this the day it came out on DVD. Never opened it, and
Really?
yeah, we with every intention of watching it. My wife then, when it came out, she's my girlfriend. We had every intention of watching it, and then at one point, a year later, we're like, "Hey, let's check out Secret Window," and it was still wrapped. I'm like, "Oh shit, I kind of don't want to open this," and it became a running thing, and it's still in this room in its wrapping, original wrapping. It's never been opened, and this is like what 20 years later.
Yeah.
I'll never open it. I'd have to buy another copy in order to, because it was a running joke with my late wife.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's one I'll may never see just because of that. Just for fun. What about Survivor Type? What is that?
I love. I don't recall that one. I love Secret Window. By the way, I
Hmm.
saw it in the theaters a couple of times. It's again, it's based on a short story, Secret Window, Secret Garden. Um, but I really dig it. I think it's got, I think Johnny Depp is really good in it. Yeah, I think it's just so it's a really good movie.
Be
Great
hard
score,
hard pressed to
class.
find a movie Johnny Depp's not good at, in my opinion.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I know some people don't really care for the ending, especially if you're a fan of like the short story that it's based on, where it's sort of like um, it's sort of like it's not really, it doesn't give you a definitive answer in the
Hmm.
short story, whereas the movie does. Um,
I actually would like to see it, honestly.
yeah,
And maybe I will one day. I'm just not going to open the copy I have.
yeah,
Maybe Ron's got a copy. He lives right up the road. Sean,
right.
I wanted to mention Shawshank Redemption was the first time I ever fingered a girl. Forrest Gump was the first time I ever had a girl rub on my dick in a theater. That's a true story. 1994 was a hell of a year for me. 95 was the first time I had sex. Anyway, sorry. Good afternoon. Afternoon.
It's afternoon somewhere.
Yeah, I guess so. 1408. Yeah, the ones I haven't seen, completely honest, I'd like to see, and there's not really a, a great reason why I haven't seen them.
I think you'll
Yeah.
did 1408.
Okay. Yes, my wife passed away in 2017 from a brain tumor. If you joke about that, I will ban you forever,
Yeah,
and I'll hunt you down, and I will beat the living shit out of you if you make fun of me or of my wife. Just saying, I know you joke around a lot, but that's not something to joke about. True, exactly truth. I don't know what the truth's for, but let's see. Survivor Type. Guy gets marooned on a tiny island. Is this a Stephen King? With no food but heavy painkillers, so he numbs himself. Oh my god, that's fucked up. So he numbs himself to eat his own body parts. That sounds amazing.
I don't. I've never heard of that one.
That sounds amazing for real. Yeah, great. It was a great year. 1996. He got pegged. No, unfortunately, that was 97. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Don't mind the jokes, just not about that stuff. Johnny Depp. Yeah, I think Johnny Depp's pretty much good and everything, and it all started with A Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up on our honorable mentions for Stephen King movies that we don't have on our top 10. We've got three more movies, and it's Children of the Corn. Nah, not that one.
Okay. Fuck you, Ray. Fuck you.
It's Children, not this one. Damn it. Okay, Children of the Corn. Sorry, I had to.
What a dick.
Yeah. No, Children of the Corn. I actually have this on my personal top 10 list, number 10. This is the one I grew up with and loved, and I still love to this day. The Arrow Blu-ray is so good. Definitely worth getting if it's available for anybody to get. Um, the sequels are hit or miss, but you can't go wrong with the original. Am I wrong, Seth?
No, I mean the original was like, it was like, I saw it when I was a kid,
Thank you, Matt.
and like the opening scene for me, like when I was younger, like kind of terrified me.
Oh hell
And
yeah.
the movie made me not want to have kids.
Oh,
Um,
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're kids can be creepy. No,
Yeah,
thank
for sure.
I still enjoy the film. I don't, to me, it doesn't quite hold up as much anymore, like as it was like when I was younger.
I
Um,
agree. I agree.
but
But there's still nostalgia bait there, you know?
yeah, totally. And there's some good stuff in there, and I think the film made the two leads more likable than they were in the short story because they were just not likable at all.
Mhm.
And the '09 film made them even worse. I hate that
Yeah,
movies.
that whole movie is insufferable.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, and like as far as the sequels go, like I like some of them. I like 3, 4.
I like
I
two.
kind of like 5, but it's been a while since I've seen it.
I
I know
think
you
the
hate that one.
first. I don't like that one at all. That one's one of the
Yeah.
worst. I think. I think the first four are decent. Two's the worst of the first four. Three is better than I remember it, and four is probably the second best overall. I think.
Oh, totally,
Um,
100%.
we're gonna do a we're gonna have to do a whole fucking Children of the Corn ranked list at some point. Sean, I just wanted to comment on this real fast. I love The Ninth Gate. I love that movie. I blind bought that at Walmart one day in like 2000, and I watched it. I was supposed to go to sleep because I bought it on my way home from work, and I stayed up and watched the whole goddamn thing and loved every second of it. Ninth Gate's underrated, way underrated.
Really good film.
Understand? Have you seen it?
Yeah, we did a show on it.
Oh, that's right, we did. I don't remember what we do anymore. We've done like 300 or 400 shows, you
I,
know. So like, it's hard to remember sometimes.
well,
We're bound to repeat ourselves.
I only remember because it was my first time watching it before the show.
Oh, okay. It's a good movie, man.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so three more before we get to the list. This one is I have no excuses, but I've never seen The Dead Zone.
oh, really? Yeah, it's really good. Uh,
Long pause. Oh,
yeah. Um, yeah, it's really good. Cronenberg film. Um, I don't know how I feel about Christopher Walken playing Johnny, but yeah, I
neither
think
do
it's
I.
yeah. Well, it's just like if you read the book and like he's just not who I envisioned uh, for that character. But I think it's a pretty damn good adaptation.
It's one that I
Um,
know I should have seen at this
so
point because it's been out forever, and I know plenty of what happens in it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I've actually heard the show's really good as well. It's got Anthony Michael Hall in it, doesn't it?
Yep. I actually have
Is
the
it
whole
Anthony Michael
series.
Hall?
Yeah, I have the whole series on
Is
DVD.
is that where he coined the phrase "Evil dies tonight"?
It very well could be. It could have been a vision.
A vision of the future. So the last two that we got would be 11 and 12 on our list. The first one is Cujo, and a lot of people love this movie. Nate loves this movie. Nate from the Discourse show we usually do on Sundays. I don't care for Cujo. I'm not gonna lie, it's not something I care about. I get it. I understand why people love it. It's a tense movie, but it's just not one that I really like. And that's probably why it fell off the top 10 because of me. Roy,
Uh,
do you like Cujo? What do you think?
yeah, no, I like Cujo. I don't think I had it on my list though. So like Cujo's one where I definitely like the book a lot better. Um, I think the movie is decent. D. Wallace is great in it, but um, it almost kind of felt like made for TV, like
Yeah,
quality
I can
wise.
agree with that. Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and it didn't have the balls to go as dark as the book for the ending, but
Yeah, somebody just
uh,
said book is way better.
yeah.
Um, just real quick on the Dead Zone, I haven't seen it, and one other person left it off their list. That's why it's not on the list. The way we made the list is we all ranked our list, our top 10 Stephen King horror movies, and I took like so if I had if let's say Cujo, I had Cujo at 1, Seth had Cujo at 1, Nate had Cujo at 1, and Keith had Cujo at 1. That's a score of 4, right? And then like so, I just add up the numbers of which spots we have them, and unfortunately, that's where they fell. That's why Cujo's not on the list, and that's why it's very scientific, by the way.
It's kind of funny that they're both like back to back here because the sheriff that Tom Skerritt plays in the Dead Zone is the same sheriff character in Cujo that gets killed by the dog,
Really?
and then he eventually gets replaced by Alan Pangborn,
Mm.
who is sheriff in The Dark Half and then Needful Things, and he was also in the
Mentioned in
Castle.
Castle Rock, yeah. I remember you talking to me about because we'll get to those in shortly. But the last one, which would be number 11, is
Yep.
of course John Carpenter's Christine. I know this is probably painful for Seth because John Carpenter is his Lord and the Almighty John Carpenter. Uh,
Amen.
this movie, I like it. This it's not in my top 10. I'm gonna be honest here. Christine bores the shit out of me. So I couldn't put it in my top 10 when I finalized my list. And I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, but it does. It bores the living shit out of me. So there's a lot of cool stuff, but man, all the in between stuff, it's just like, oh, it's a slog to get through. Um, with Christine rebuilding herself, and then when she's on fire, chasing the guy down the road. But man, and Arnie or whatever his name is, the Cunningham kid, he's like, all that's great, but man, for some reason, it's like it feels like a chore watching it. So I had to keep it out of my top 10. I know that's terrible, but what are you gonna do?
You should be ashamed of yourself, Raymond.
I'm
Uh,
not, but
John Carpenter's Stephen King's Christine is a movie
spoiler
I
alert: Rose Red's on next week's list. Tune in next week to find out where it ends up. Go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
John Carpenter's Stephen King's Christine is a movie I've always enjoyed. I
Oh,
feel
whoa!
that
Hold on. Look at Sean Sheridan's movie reviews. Are you doing movie reviews now, Sean? Fucking A,
he
man. Congratulations. I love it.
he was for a while. He had his channel, like he was doing like
Really?
yeah, and I checked it out, and then like he was having issues with like a tooth that was bothering him, and then like I
Okay.
saw he did like this video saying that he was gonna like not do reviews anymore. So maybe he's back.
I had no idea, man. I'm gonna check out your channel, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I 100% put my whatever behind it. Support. That's the word. Go ahead. Sorry, I couldn't think of the right word. What did that one say?
yeah. So I love Christine. I love
John
uh,
Carpenter.
well, yeah.
His
Naturally, I love
balls.
Carpenter, and I think like the way he shot that was great. The the car repairing itself is great. I love the dynamic between Arnie and Dennis. To me, they felt like actual friends. And
Yeah, I agree with that.
I love the evolution of Arnie from like this meek, shy nerd to very confident and kind of scary revenge machine, sort of basically seduced by Christine. So I enjoy it a lot, but I respect your opinion.
No, it's. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Of course, it just bores me.
No, I know. No, yeah,
It's definitely. I'm not reaching for Christine if I want to watch a John Carpenter movie, and I'm not reaching for Christine if I want to watch something set, by adapted from a Stephen King thing. It's not anywhere near the top of the list. And I gotta say, this list is pretty stacked anyway. Once we break it down,
yeah.
you'll see why some of these were left off. Two movies are on here that I've never seen, but Seth also had them at number 1 and number 2 on his list. And I think part of me wonders if you did that just to get them on the list. When I saw him, I was like, that motherfucker knows that if he puts those on here, they're making the list at one.
Well, there's two parts to that. One, yes, that's absolutely true. But also,
I was joking.
but also, I actually do legitimately love those
I know you
films.
do. I know you do. I know you do.
I've been trying
I
to get
know.
us
I mean,
nose on them
we've
for a
talked
while.
about it before. Actually, starting. Matter of fact, let's get into it. Number 10 is The Dark Half.
Yeah, George Romero's adaptation of The Dark Half, I think, is actually pretty damn good. I mean, naturally, when you try to adapt a Stephen King book, you're not going to get everything into like an hour and a half, 2 hour film. But I think Romero's film keeps the core of the book there. I actually love Timothy Hutton in his dual roles here. I love the story. I love sort of like the sort of like behind the scenes type thing involving how the story came about with someone trying to blackmail Stephen King because he figured out that Stephen King was Richard Bachman, and right, this book was a fuck you to the person trying to blackmail him. And I love Michael Rooker as Alan Pangborn in the film. I love the score from Christopher Young. Uh, it's just for me, it's just a really cool story. Again, I'm a sucker for the Castle Rock uh, type stuff, so with this involving Alan Pangborn, it's not entirely set in Castle Rock, but it does involve it. But yeah, I love The Dark Half, and I advocate for it quite a bit, and I think it should be seen.
The Dark Half. I never heard of it. Romero is one. I think Martin is the only other movie I seen of that and The Crazies, rather than the Dead movies. I'm guessing. The Dark Half is my number 9. This is Jason Needle. Thought it was a bit disconnected. It was great nevertheless.
Yeah, I think a
Great
little bit
choice.
at the end it kind of fumbles a bit, but I think it's like again like it's hard for me to separate it because I love the book. So like I love the book so much, and
Hmm.
I feel like Romero did actually a really good job of getting the story um, out there. It's not as good as the book, but I love this movie.
And The Dark Half is streaming on Prime, Tubi, Pluto TV. If you haven't seen it out there, which maybe I'll watch it on Prime or something. All right. Number 9 is it showing up? It's
Yeah,
running slow for some reason.
it 2017.
What is it, Seth? Because it's not showing up on my screen. Yeah, I know what it is. It 2017. There we go. I mean, this movie is one of the top grossing horror movies, if not the top grossing horror movie of all time.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of nostalgia for the 1990 version of it, the miniseries, for good reason. It's a fun movie, but just like it Chapter Two, the second half kind of falls off because you follow these kids around who fight a demonic clown or whatever, an alien, I guess. And it's a little bit more fun. And this movie was done very very well. I love it actually. This is one that I enjoy with my kids quite often since it came out on Blu-ray. And it scared my son so much when we went and saw it in the theater that we had to leave. So uh, yeah, I like it. Well, did you? I don't think you had this on your list.
I thought I did. Um, if I didn't, it would be you know not too long after 10. Like I enjoy it a lot. I think it's really good. I was really happy with the decision they made to, instead of tell the story accurately where it kind of goes back and forth between the kids and the adults, it just gets all the kids stuff into one movie, and then
Hmm.
the next film is all the adult stuff. Because when I first heard that they were making it into a theatrical movie, I'm like, how the hell are you going to tell that story in a limited time? Which is something that they tried to do with Salem's Lot recently. Like, when I heard that they were doing a theatrical, at the time it was supposed to be theatrical, Salem's Lot, I was like, there's okay, it's not going to have
Hmm.
like half of the book in there. So I applaud them for taking this approach of taking all the kids stuff, doing it for chapter one, and then all the adult stuff separately for chapter two. And like you say, the adult stuff is like the weak stuff in it. I think of
Yeah,
of the
unfortunately.
story as a whole. Um, but yeah, this was really good. I think it's pretty well directed. Skarsgård is great as Pennywise. I think the kids are fantastic
Very
in it.
good. Yeah.
Uh, the score is really good. I think it just, the overall like aesthetic of the movie, I think really captures the tone. So yeah.
No, I don't know this. This is I left this up for you to answer. Um, do you know if it's connected to the Dark Tower? According to headcanon, it
I'm
was
pretty sure.
connected to the Dark Tower. I have no clue.
I'm pretty sure it is. Like
Pretty
basically,
sure.
like everything he does is connected to the tower.
Sean, relax about The Shining. That's all I can say right now is relax about The Shining. Stick around. Yeah, it chapter one was good. Two was a kind of a mess. I do have a fun memory of seeing two. Jared and I, Jared, of course, being from the Kansas City area, he drove up here and we went to Horror Hound weekend in Indianapolis. And we, after the first night or second night of Horror Hound, we went and saw it at midnight at chapter two. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. 1990 was a better version. This was really great adaptation, though. Tim Curry is my Pennywise. I like both as Pennywise, and I find both of them have different strengths as Pennywise. I think
Oh
that Tim Curry's has a lot more humor, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, I think because I enjoy both as well. So like for me, the 1990 miniseries was I felt like definitely more faithful to the book, even though it, there was some things here and there. But I don't know, they're both really good. I think Tim Curry's just he's very iconic as Pennywise. But you got to hand it to
Yeah,
Skarsgård for giving his own stamp on it too. And yeah, I agree with what
I
Idris said.
agree. Uh, mhm. More like what Stephen King wrote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I read these comments and when I put them up on the screen, I read them in my speed and then I take them down. So I'm sorry if I take them down fast, but because I read them like in my speed and then take it down. Sorry about that. Alex Breeding, he thrived on laughter. Oh, I see from this comment.
Hmm.
Hello, Kathy. Uh,
And I just
Seth,
want to
while
say,
you talk about number eight,
okay, just real quick before I
go
do,
ahead.
I just want to say what's up to Alex Breeden, uh, an old internet friend of mine. So just wanted to say hello. Um, okay, go on. Put up number eight.
Number eight, and I'm going to restart this thing because it's running slow.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be
Yep.
back in a minute. So, gush about Needful Things.
Oh, and I will. So Needful Things is my second favorite Stephen King novel of all time. And it just so happened that I saw the movie first. I saw the movie when I was a kid. I was like 11 or 12, and I really enjoyed it. I loved um, the fight between Wilma and Nettie in the house. I love the idea of this like supernatural being setting up shop in this town and getting people to pull pranks on each other, to cross each other's wires, and just how chaotic it gets. Um, and it's just for me, it's just a lot of fun. I think the film you got Max von Sydow as Leland Gaunt. He's fantastic in it. I do love what's his name? God damn it, I'm drawing a blank. Uh, he played Pangborn. Ed Harris. I love Ed Harris as Pangborn, although it after reading the book, I kind of look a little differently on it because it's Pangborn, but without all his backstory. And I thought, I wish that the shared universe thing was like a bigger thing back then because both Needful Things and The Dark Half both came out in '93 and both involved the Pangborn character. So yeah, I love Needful Things. It's my second favorite book. Uh, the the movie is, I think, a lot of fun. I think it's got great casting. Bonnie Bedelia is in it from Die Hard, aka the greatest movie ever made. Um, yeah, and it's just a lot of fun. Now, because I saw the movie first, I have like this nostalgic love for it. And after reading the book, and the book just really grabbing me, there's things that I wish were in the movie that were from the book. There is this copy I got on Blu-ray that apparently this is a can we pull down this image, Ray? Because I have this.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I just getting back.
Okay, no problem. I'll show it off after. But I have this German Blu-ray that has like this alternative cut that has more more scenes in it. It's supposed to be even longer and a little bit closer to the book. There's not, as I said before earlier. When you're doing a adaptation of a King story, you're not going to get everything in there. But there's things I wish were in there, like the character of Ace Merrill, who Kiefer played in Stand By Me. He was like the main, like sort of like right-hand man of Leland Gaunt in the book. And I kind of wish that they had that connection in here. But yeah, Needful Things is, I think, a lot of fun. Just based on the premise of this supernatural being kind of getting people to pull pranks on other people in the town and crossing wires and just causing chaos. Yeah, I love it. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out.
Let's see if it's streaming somewhere because I have not seen it. I remember my mom watched it when it came out. She rented it on VHS years ago, and I was more race sexual escapades if you want to hear about it. Basically, I was in my room making out with my girlfriend while my mom's like, "Oh, I rented this so you and your girlfriend could watch it." And she was in her bedroom watching it, and me and my girlfriend were in my bedroom playing tonsil hockey. For more Ray's sexual escapades, follow me. I don't know why it's coming up today. It's a must see. I know.
Issues you got to work out, Ray.
Didn't Ace just get out of Shawshank?
Yeah, he just got out of Shawshank in Needful Things in the book. Yep,
that's wild. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Needful Things and what's the other one? The Dark Half. I definitely would like to watch. Yeah, it's not about avoiding these movies. It's just, first of all, I don't have copies of them. Second of all, Needful Things is not streaming, so it's harder to get a hold of it. And you have a German copy. Is there regular Blu-ray out there that I might be able to pick up for cheap?
After I got that one, I think there was an announcement of a
Let me look on Amazon.
Because I specifically, I got the DVD, but I naturally wanted on Blu-ray. But there was like the promise of like the longer cut of it, which made it.
Max von Sydow's in this?
Yeah, he's Leland Gaunt. He's the main villain.
And Bonnie Bedelia returns to the world of Stephen King. How about
that? Yeah. Yep. She's great in it.
I mean, she's great in everything, especially that one movie from 1988.
Yeah, the greatest movie ever made.
We left Shawshank off the list because it's not a horror movie. We're just doing a horror movie. Otherwise, Shawshank would probably be number 2, I would assume. Sean, relax. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Needful Things is a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I remember the previews for it when I was younger. Coming in at number, what did we get? 7?
Hmm.
Creepy Carrie. Seth did not have this on his list. Otherwise, it probably would be at number 4. I bet 3 or 4.
I
Um,
did.
yeah, I got your list right here, buddy. It's not like I got your list right here, buddy. Uh, I got. Let's see. I got your list: Needful Things, The Dark Half, The Shining, Silver Bullet, Pet Cemetery, Christine, The Mist, Misery, Doctor Sleep, The Dead Zone, horror shoutouts, Children of the Corn, Secret Window, 1408, Carrie, Cujo, and It Chapter 1. So it's
Oh,
on your shoutouts, but
there's just so many to choose from.
I
It's
know
hard.
it was tough. This was harder than I expected.
I was like trying to like do it all like on my lunch break, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like watching the
Right.
clock, so I have to drive back to work.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
this list was harder than me at the beginning of this movie. Oh, what happened? What just happened?
yeah.
God, sorry,
Um,
that's gross. Actually, oh
this is
man,
absolutely true. Leland was kind of like Man in Black, then the devil. Yeah.
with Man in Black, like Tommy
Uh,
Lee Jones and Will Smith.
no, like the gunslinger. Have you read the Dark Tower?
No,
Okay. Uh, the
as I
Man in
say that,
Black,
like
or yeah, the
no,
Man in
I'm
Black.
too good for that. No, I've never read it.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been trying to sing, like when people like make jokes and they go, "Oh," or "Oh snap." I'm trying to do this new thing of saying what happened because I think it works. I said it on accident one day. I was like, I like that. Like like oh man, you know, you're a nerd. Oh, what happened? Like that. Anyway,
Or it could be like the cool kids today, no cap. That should be bussing.
no, I'm gonna do my own thing. That's dumb. No cap, bussin', whatever. Carrie, 1970. This is the first Stephen King adaptation, Brian De Palma film. Very good
Yeah.
movie. My mom kept me from seeing this for a long time, and it was because of the beginning of the movie. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I know Nate has a soft spot for this one. Uh, Piper Laurie's performance is just undeniably amazing in this film, and Sissy Spacek I think she was perfectly cast in the role of Carrie because she's got
Absolutely.
these like rigid and yet soft features where she does look kind of like an outcast in this movie. Uh, that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree. So this is based on Stephen King's first book. It's one of his smallest books, but it's really good
Just like my
nonetheless.
wiener. What's up? Sorry.
Um, but I agree. I mean the casting is great all around. Uh, I love Brian De Palma as a director. I love the way that he
Yeah.
shoots stuff, and yeah, this is just really good. It didn't. It was on my shout out list, but I
Yeah.
do really enjoy this a lot.
It's hard to make. It was harder than I expected to make this list, like I said. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I think one of my favorite things about the way this movie is directed and edited really is that prom scene after it's set up like a comic book in some ways.
Hmm.
And I really, really like that. Yeah, just like that. I like that. Yo, mama's so fat. What happened? Yes. No sexcapades except for I made a boner joke about the beginning of this movie when she has her period. Uh, Ron, you definitely would appreciate that. Ron writes articles for the Horror Syndicate. If anybody doesn't know, thehorrorsyndicate.com. Tons of articles from Ron and Seth alike. And then there's some from me too. Carrie was a big one for me. Her being blood covered scared the hell out of me. I mean, it's just when I was looking for an image for this, there's so many great images of her covered in blood. But I like her eyes. Like her left eye looks like it's popping out of her head here, and she just looks like she's like I don't know. This was the image I chose because there are other iconic images, but this one I really like. Uh,
I, One thing I will say is those fucking kids got what they deserved.
oh, you're not wrong.
I don't necessarily agree that with the teacher getting hurt.
Well, not everybody had to die, in my opinion,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I mean, she was probably. Damn, I got. There we go. I got it. She's probably being ridiculed by the whole town, but it's all thanks to her mom, and her mom got what she deserved as well, in my opinion. They all did because they're all gonna laugh. They're all gonna laugh at you.
Yeah.
The dancing scene spinning made me throw up. Nice. I apologize, and I wish I could hang out longer. It's all good, Kathy. We know you're always around for the 5 stars and all the brackets. Been around for a long time. I appreciate that.
All the horse and get followers are getting hurt.
Right. Hopefully, Kathy, you have a speedy recovery, just like Sean here. The jump scare at the end of Inspired Friday. Yes, it did. That's right. That's a great jump scare too. One of the better jump scares of all time, especially when
Yeah.
you don't know. Yeah, fuck around and find out factor. Absolutely. Carrie Firestarter and the shop were very comic book like. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that
Especially
for sure.
Firestarter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Firestarter did not make our lists. It's boring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have yet to see a good adaptation of that book.
I mean, it's better than what we got a couple years ago in 2022.
Yeah.
Can we at least say that?
The movie that made me say, "Thank God I got COVID." Right.
Yeah, because you were going to go see it in the theater and it saved you $15 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God for COVID for Firestarter 2022. Coming in number 6 is Misery. And long pause. How about that? I love this movie. We rented it when it came out on VHS right away, and I was like, this was after, obviously, a year after Pet Cemetery, and that's when I started really discovering Stephen King stuff. And when I found this out, this was coming out, I was like, well, when it comes out on VHS, because nobody will take me to see it in the theater. I was 10. I got to see it. So we all got to pick one movie. I picked Misery. And boy, oh boy, I had no idea what I got myself into at 10 years old. Because all it was Annie Wilkes, being crazy for about 60 minutes. And then the hobble scene happened. You're like, damn. You're like, what the fuck?
Yep.
I love Misery, though. What do you think?
I absolutely love Misery. Not only do we get great performances from Kathy Bates and James Caan, but just like the movie is just so well directed and it's so tense for being a movie where this guy is bedridden or wheelchair bound for the entire time. And as a writer, it pained me the scene where she made him burn it.
Oh yeah,
burn his book. But yeah, this is definitely, I think, objectively one of the finest Stephen King adaptations out there.
Yeah, this is definitely one of Kathy Bates' best performances. But I'll tell you what, Kathy Bates is like a fine wine. She only gets better with time. She is one of the best actresses in the world, in my opinion, and she's not bad in anything I've ever seen her in.
Yeah,
Misery is a goat. Yeah, and Misery is fantastic. Very close adaptation. My mom read Misery. I never read it. Yes, I agree. But yeah, Misery is it's a good one. And I love how tense it gets when he gets out of the room for the first time. Also, that's when she gets back and he's sweating. And
yeah.
Jimmy Caan also. He's always been one of my favorites. So because I'm a huge Godfather fan. It's my favorite movie of all time. And seeing him in this role and being kind of helpless, it's because he's kind of plays a tough guy a lot of times. It was pretty good. Out of curiosity, The Shining ever see the 90s miniseries? Yes. Yes. I had to consider it for our our TV adaptations for next week. It did not make the list because I was the only one who put it on the list. So
I watched it like when it first aired.
Yeah.
But I remember I didn't really care for it, but I got a soft spot for the Kubrick's film.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, first of all, when I watched it, because I watched it when it aired, and then I bought that DVD 3-pack that came with the Salem's Lot TV adaptation, The Shining, and you know what I'm talking about, right? That's
Yeah,
got 3 movies in it. I can't remember what else is in it. I got it somewhere
it
around
was The
here.
Shining.
I'll have to find it. I don't remember at all what the other thing that's in it, but it's 3 movies or 3 TV adaptations. It might be like Rose Red. I think it might be Rose Red,
Hmm.
something like that. Anyway,
Or the top.
so I watched it again because I'm like, they say that it's closer to the book, but I can't stand the kid that got to play Danny. Can't close his fucking mouth. Otherwise, everything else is fine. Bad CGI aside, I think for the most part, it's not that bad. I like Steven Weber as Jack Torrance for the most part, but for some reason, I could not stop looking at him and thinking he looks exactly like Christian fucking Bale. So, yeah, I was like, well, if they ever remake The Shining, they should use Christian Bale as Jack Torrance just because of that. I remember putting that on my Facebook, and nobody responded, of course, because like, what the fuck are you talking about? So that'd be another fun one to do a
Well,
show on, Seth, is the 97 adaptation of The Shining.
yeah, we could. I've actually been meaning to rewatch it. I think the thing for me is like I believe Mick Garris directed that, right?
I think
Um,
so, yeah.
yeah, and I know it was closer to the book, and Steven was happy with it, but like the Shining movie is the Kubrick film. It just oozes horror and atmosphere. Um, so for me, like I don't know, we'll get into it, I guess, when we talk about The Shining. But yeah, I need to rewatch the miniseries. I need to get it. I don't think I have it.
I gotta find that 3-pack so I can. I don't know where it is. Because I
Well,
meant to have. I was gonna see if Keith would print out DVD covers because they're all separate discs for me, and I totally forgot about it.
I
God,
think
what is
Ron
it?
is onto something. Is probably Langoliers.
It might be. He probably has it. Ron's got more movies than me, and he can go fuck off. I'm gonna look it up, see if I can find it.
I see. There's a comment
Oh
here
no, it's
from.
it.
Oh, is it? It?
It's it. Yeah, yeah. Because this is it. This is it right here. The one I have. Oh shit. It's that. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that
Yeah,
before.
because I definitely wanted
Salem's
Salem's
Lot.
Lot
Yeah.
because I had never seen it.
Uh,
Oh Jesus, there are 10 comments, guys.
yeah.
Calm down.
So I just put up a comment. Emily Needle says it's out on Blu-ray, so I'm gonna
What
have
is
to look for
The
that. I
Shining?
believe she's talking about The
Oh,
Shining. Yeah,
well, shit.
she
All
said
right, let me look that up.
the miniseries was released a couple months ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to have the whatchamacallit, Salem's Lot as well. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there it is.
How
I
much
just
is it?
can't stand that kid's face.
I know.
The drooling kid, yes. Um,
Very derpy.
my favorite Stephen King story is Cujo because of the killer dog. I love dogs. I'm surprised it's not Silver Bullet. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say to him. Langoliers I've never seen. I've heard it's awful. Speaking of Silver Bullet, coming in at number 5 is Silver Bullet. Seth, what is this movie to me?
It is your favorite werewolf film.
You're goddamn right it is. And I don't feel ashamed of that at all. I'm not a big werewolf guy, and of course you know that. But yeah, I did the my top 50 werewolf movies a couple weeks ago. This came out at number 1. This is one of those movies for me that I can just put on and let it ride. I love this movie. I love the atmosphere of this movie. I don't give a shit how it's lit, like Nate said. I don't care about that. I like the
Take
characters in the
that, Nathan.
movie. Yeah, I know. I'm never gonna forget that. By the way, he scarred. Every time I watch that movie, I think about him calling an after-school special. But I love the way it's lit. I love the character. I even like the design of the werewolf. You know, the scene on the bridge with the firework, that's so cool. And the what's his name's Corey Haim's wheelchair. There's it's just it's a nice movie. That's one of the things I like about Stephen King movies. A lot of them, not all of them, of course, is that it feels like it can happen anywhere in America. I know it's uh, uh, northeast. What do they call that area? You live up there. What do they call that?
It, yeah. Well, I think it's set in Maine,
Well, yeah, but that whole area, the
New
they call it
England.
something. New England. Thank you. God, why couldn't I say that? Anyway, yeah, I I just love the fact that it feels like it doesn't feel like it's a horror movie, and then the shit starts happening, even though the beginning begins with a beheading. Uh, I love this movie though. And I will say there may be a 4K out there, whatever, but I love the Scream Factory release of
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
New
So Silver Bullet
England.
was. Yeah. Silver Bullet was a film that I grew up with. I wore the crap out of the VHS tape that we had as a kid. I I love Everett McGill in it. I actually love Gary Busey in it. Uh,
Yeah, I do too.
it's I just think it's a cool werewolf film. I don't entirely love the look of the face of the werewolf, but the werewolf never really bothered me design wise. I think there's some great intense moments. The scene on the bridge is very intense. Um, and it's not necessarily even an adaptation because um, the novella cycle of the werewolf. Um, I think it's like halfway through you finally get to Marty. It's just the werewolf once a month. Killing people in Tucker's Mills. But yeah, I really enjoy Silver Bullet a lot. It's a great film. It's in my top 10 werewolf films. It's a childhood favorite of mine as well.
If they do a remake of Cujo Boys and they used a Labrador as the killer dong and a can
Typo.
show people the killer side of the lab, and they're not such a loving, carry family dogs, what do you think?
Well,
Dude,
I mean, I mean,
I don't want to see a dog's dong. I will say that.
yeah, just the I don't know the idea of Cujo. Anyways, it's a good boy who got rabies
Yeah,
because
that's all there is to it.
he wasn't really taken care of by his owners. And yeah,
I'm falling apart. Oh God, I'm coming apart. Anybody know what movie that's from?
you reference in the room.
No, it's Amityville Horror.
Ah,
Dog. He meant doing. I know what he meant, but he forgot the letter, and it made me laugh. I can't help it. I'm a pervert. It's Ray's Sexcapades night on the Horror Syndicate Horror Movie Madness. So, yeah. Anyway, one of the things I also want to say about Silver Bullet, and this is something I don't think I've ever talked about before, is it takes place in the 1970s because it's Joni, I think is her name, right? She's telling a story about what happened to her and her brother in sometime like 1973 or some shit with the werewolf. But the thing is, it feels like a movie from the 1970s, doesn't it?
yeah, I can see that.
It totally feels like it was actually made in the 1970s. Like, I think that might be why the lighting is the way it is because it's a period piece, if you will. Uh, Speaking of period pieces, let's go. I'm sorry, Seth. I'm sorry you have to deal with me.
It's okay, man. You got Dong on the mind.
I do have dong on the mind. What's up with me? Oh man. Trump killer dong.
They probably
No,
did.
hey Scott,
I wouldn't
I
put it
know
past Trump.
you're probably typing on a phone. I get it, man. It's just it just made me laugh. We get it. They're remaking Cujo. I think actually they actually are. I heard something recently. Um,
That's true. That is true.
it's true. I can't even. This show's over. I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna die. Oh man, I didn't. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh, that's.
So I think to address Scott, I will say this: I don't think the type of dog really matters. Like if they didn't do a Saint Bernard, if they
Yeah,
chose a different type of dog, I'd be fine with that.
I wonder if they chose. I don't know the book. I don't know anything about Cujo, except the movie. Did they use Saint Bernard because he was so fucking big and terrifying looking? Is that why?
I'm not sure of King's motivations for
Yeah.
that, but yeah,
Oh man, or is it based off a dog he once had? Anyway, let's just keep
it's a
moving because
really
I'm
good
gonna
book.
die.
It's a really good book. I mean, even if you didn't like the movie, the
Well, the
book
movie's
is so
fine. It's just not one of my favorites.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I worked hard on this list. I'm not even gonna lie, probably harder than I needed to. It's like that top 25 of the 80s list that we keep talking about, dude. I've gone back to the drawing board numerous times to try to figure out what the fuck to do with that. And like I keep asking, oh, you got that list ready yet? And at the same time, I'm like hoping you say no so I can have more time to do mine. So
I'm not.
to
I
be
took a
fair,
look at mine, and I'm like, this doesn't work for me.
we got to get that one going. It
I
could
know.
be a wiener dong. Oh, probably based on cocaine, probably. Oh man, he admitted to doing a lot of coke. All right, Maximum Overdrive. Number 4 on our list. Doctor Sleep, phenomenal film in my opinion. And I guess Stephen King got a little bit of justice for The Shining. Uh, what'd you think of Doctor Sleep?
I loved it. Flanagan is the best person.
King.
Flanagan is the best person to take on King work since Frank Darabont, and since Frank retired, uh, I'll, I'm very happy with Flanagan doing this stuff. Yeah, and like Doctor Sleep, it was faithful to the book, but it was also uh, uh, also set up as a sequel to Kubrick's The Shining. There was a happy medium there between the two, and I just think it's an amazing film. It really just pulls you in. I love
It does.
Ewan McGregor as older Danny. I
Mhm.
absolutely love what's her name, Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh my God, she was. I would love to say she was the standout as Rose the Hat, but it's hard to say that because Ewan McGregor was awesome and Abra Kylie Curran I think was her name,
Mhm.
something like that. This cast is phenomenal in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah, absolutely. But I think Rose the Hat was the standout for me. But maybe it's just because Rebecca
And for
Ferguson
my money, I
was
think
smoking.
I want to say Mike Flanagan is probably the best horror director currently working. I know that there's a lot of people out there that could be in the running for it, but man, for my money, Mike Flanagan, he puts it all together. He is a great, great filmmaker, producer, writer, all that stuff. He's great. Everything I've seen him do so far, with no exceptions, has been great.
Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I've said this before. I think Midnight Mass is the
I
best
love it.
adaptation of Salem's Lot, even though it's
Mhm.
not. I loved Oculus.
Yeah.
I loved Hush.
Hush is great. Yeah.
Yeah, Gerald's Game. He did that. That was really solid too. Um,
Come
and
back next week for Gerald's Game.
yeah, I know he's going to be doing like a Carrie series. I'm interested in that.
He is also
But
making a
I'm
Clayface
just
movie.
really. Well, he's writing it. He's not directing
Yeah,
it.
well, I
But
mean, he's part of it though, part of the
yeah,
production.
yeah, no, that's fantastic. But like,
Yeah,
he's supposed to be doing the Dark Tower, and if there's anyone I would love to take on Dark Tower, it's Flanagan, because he is really good at sticking to the source, and that's what irked me about the Dark Tower movie from a few years back. Uh, so I really want to see faithful adaptations of the Dark Tower. So I'm just super excited for him to get on that.
his attention to detail, making the doctor's
Yes.
office freaking identical to Ullman's office. Yes, absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely. Doctor Sleep. When you make a sequel to a Stanley Kubrick movie and make it good, you're doing something right. Especially when you're pleasing uh, Stephen King, who famously was not happy with The Shining. Uh, Christian Slater should have played the lead. Uh, he's playing Harry Morgan right now and doing a really good job at that in Dexter. Yeah, Flanagan. I love Flanagan. That's another thing. I would love to have a conversation about the best horror directors working right now.
Yep.
Uh, and overall, like John Carpenter is probably the best horror director of all time. I have like tons of confidence in saying that. But Flanagan's like edging his way up there. Um,
Well, yeah. I
we
mean,
will,
what was that show?
Emily. I will do this 100%.
Uh, the Poe one there. What the fuck was it?
The Fallen House of Usher.
Yeah, what a
Yeah,
phenomenal,
fucking
phenomenal.
phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
That hooked me in immediately.
Hmm.
I loved it.
Yep.
We can go on about Flanagan all day. Let's go to number three. Uh, The Mist. Um, this this one I didn't know anything about. Of course, based on a short Stephen King story, right? Story. Um, but like a lot, it gets a lot of accolades for the ending, for sure. And it's got one of the saddest endings to a movie I've ever seen. It's heartbreaking, it's heart wrenching for sure, but that's not the whole movie. And I don't think
No.
this movie gets the credit it deserves for the stuff that happens within the movie, within the grocery store. And I know that the CG creature effects are kind of outdated, but man, so the creatures looked like terrifying, all of them. And you see a devolution of the human condition, showing that nobody in a situation like that, it's just like you can see what it's like, a zombie, like a great zombie story in a way. If you read The Walking Dead, the original Walking Dead, you see the de-evolution of the human condition, and it's played out really well, especially when Marcia Gay Harding starts a religious cult in a day or so.
Hmm.
It's such a fucking good movie, and Thomas Jane is so good in this film. I love Thomas Jane anyway. He's actually a favorite of mine.
Hmm.
But yeah, The Mist. I love The Mist. What do you think of The Mist?
I absolutely love the Mist, and I 100% agree with you that a lot of people, when they talk about it, they talk about the ending, and the ending is fantastic. It's
Yeah,
I understand
rightfully
why
so.
people I understand why people don't like it and kind of feel like it's a little cheap, but I think it's a powerful ending. But
Hmm.
everything before that is also equally fantastic. The setup to the whole thing, everything that happens inside the grocery store, um, uh, when what's her face gets shot. I like the first time I watched it, I stood up in my living room and started clapping, and I never had that reaction. Um, Mrs. Carmody, yeah, when she got shot,
Oh yeah, yep.
I was like,
Marcia Gay
oh my
Harding. Yeah.
fucking god. But it's like a villain that you love to hate.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think it's really good, good effects, good score, well directed. Frank Darabont again, amazing filmmaker. I wish he didn't retire. Um, the Mist is great.
I'm curious, Scott Walker, who is your number one YouTuber? You've always said that Seth's your number two. Who's your number one? Very
Yeah.
curious. Flanagan and Fede Alvarez. Man, we're gonna have to make a list here, Sean. Seriously, of the best horror directors working today. She was terrifying, 100% terrifying. And I mean, and the thing is, like, to develop a cult in that timing, and she had the charisma, first of all, the leadership skills, and the know-how of, the religious propaganda, if you will. So, and it's just amazing seeing all that happen.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, she is like in Edward Scissorhands. Uh, yeah, it did. It kicked me right in the nuts, man. It God, the mist is so good.
Hmm.
All right, what do you guys think number two is? We're down to the last two. After number two, we will do a question, as we always do on our ranking lists. Seth, you already know, so it's time for you to just
Actually, I
shut
don't
the
know.
fuck up.
I
You
don't
don't
know what
know?
you're. No, you never told me what you're.
Not the question, no, the number one and two,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
because I sent you the list. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot about the mist that's terrifying anyway. Not being able to see, 10 feet out the window. That's, the grocery store, seeing what the hell's out there, and all these weird fucking insect creatures keep attacking. Anyway, uh, so up there, what is number two? Well, Emily, you're not wrong. Pet Cemetery. This
Things that kick you in the balls.
speaking, yeah. Notice how I used a proper image this time, Seth. Uh,
Yeah. Thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate that. You dickhead.
In our
109.
1989 top 10 ranking, this was number one, and it wasn't very hard because in 89 was kind of a bad year for horror overall. And this was a transition year in horror where they started to move away from slasher movies into the 90s, the early 90s being like a coma for the for horror with very few good things coming out of it. But and there's a lot of stuff I like from the early 90s. But anyway, um, Pet Cemetery is awesome. And just so anybody knows, in that list, if you go look at our top 10 from 1989 and you get to number one, I used two images of Gage nearly being hit by the truck. So, as our reveal image. And I think that kind of caught Seth off guard. So,
I
he
thought
does
it was
not see the
hilarious.
images I used beforehand. So, yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. I mean, it hit hard, just like the truck hit Engage.
Jason, you make a great point, man. This movie hits way different after you have kids. And I mean, it hits you like a truck.
It hit you like a truck after you have kids.
There's so many jokes and it's so easy,
My
unfortunately.
daughter's
that
laughing.
but yeah, Pet Cemetery. I liked it when I was younger. It came out when I was 9, and my favorite things about it were, the whole history Judd would talk about of the Pet Cemetery itself, but really Pascal and seeing the things come to life and be different. It's creepy. Plus, this movie is really well done, in my opinion.
Oh, I
I
think
love
I
it.
think so. I think Mary Lambert directed the hell out of this
Oh
film.
yeah.
I think it. I think it's a really good adaptation of the story too. It's not quite as good as the book. I mean, the book is just, to me, it's like one of the best things King has written. It's
And this
very.
is the one he didn't want to release. Am I wrong?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause his kids were little around that time. Um, and this was one that I couldn't watch for years, like after my kids were born. Um, I can watch it now just fine, but like the only thing that I wish that it did was kind of like somehow find a way to get across the fact that uh, the the presence of the Wendigo or whatever was
hmm
sort of manipulating things, like because people always point out the fact that you know Judd, his decision to tell Lewis about the burial ground is kind of
Yeah.
goofy since he knows. But it's the idea in the book is the fact that he doesn't want to, but the land, the presence around him, kind of compels him to tell people about it, so that it can basically be fed. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and it's a good movie. Yeah, I love Pet Sematary. It's probably, I think it deserves to be here. I real quick do some housekeeping because there is a decent amount of people watching. Please, if you haven't liked the Horror Syndicate on Facebook, please do that and follow along as we are ranking movies. Again, this time I'm keeping better track. Before I lost track and I was like, fuck it and stop. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. We're powering our way to 2,000. So please help us get there. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. That's just housekeeping bullshit. But Zelda doesn't get talked about enough with Pet Sematary and how fucking scary it's a he in the movie, under the makeup. But Zelda is terrifying, and people do talk about Zelda, but not enough. That's one of the things because I think it was Emily mentioned something about Zelda and Creepy Gage coming around the corner, or not expecting to come around the corner. But Zelda freaked me out, man. Like, I was like, if you hurt your back, that's what's going to happen to you. Like that's what I thought. So I'm dumb.
yeah.
Is it time for more raised sexcapades? I don't have any that have to do with Pet Sematary. And Judd was compelled to bring it.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, against his will. Yep. And I wish that came across more in the film.
Yeah. I still think the film, and Stephen King wrote the screenplay, if I'm not mistaken. So
it's very close to the book,
right?
But
that was the first one I ever read too. I think I told you it came out in '86. I think is when the book came out, and the cover alone compelled me. The cat's face and the Pet Sematary. It's like, what's this? And I got to read it after the movie came out because after I saw the movie, I was like, damn. I kind of want to read the book. And my stepdad, who owned all these Stephen King books, would not let me read it, and I had to sneak it. Is that '84? Someone came out in '86. One of the books came out. I don't know. Who knows? I'm dumb. So,
books.
Huh?
There's so many books. It's hard to.
I know, right? All right.
Keep track.
So we've gotten through our top 10, and as we do on any of our ranking lists.
Not a bad question, Bert.
Not a bad question, Bert. I like to ask at least one question about what we're talking about. Still talking about the Labrador. About our topic on the night. Yes, Fred Gwynn was fantastic. Don't go down that road.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
That's why the movie hit me hard like the truck, because
we'll never stop with that joke.
I know. The way that they use like the images of like the Gage being firstborn and Lewis holding him in the hospital, like that hit me hard like the truck.
Yeah. All right. So the question, Razor's burn question of the night, is what is the most underrated Stephen King film adaptation? So you can't use anything that was made for TV. I don't know. I am Sleepwalkers is my answer. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I have a soft spot in my heart for it. I feel like it's one of those movies that could have been much better, but it wasn't. So you got something to say? Then this is for anybody out there that wants to answer this question. If you feel like you have an idea of what you think that Stephen King's most underrated film adaptation is, please drop it in the comments, and we'll comment and mock you as we laugh and play with your comments. That was dumb.
Yeah, I mean, if we were talking about like the TV stuff, I could totally name a couple.
Well, that'll be the question for next week.
Okay.
So.
But as far as theatrical films, I guess the only one that really springs to mind for me is I like Thinner.
Yes. I like Thinner also. I've never seen that one, Boogeyman. Storm of the Century, that'll actually be on next week's list.
Yeah,
Mr. Mercedes was brought up today too.
maybe you should
Never,
explain again about the
yeah.
2-episode thing.
So we're doing it. This is a 2-part series. This is all film adaptations. Hold on, what did Ron say? Mangler sucks, but Robert Englund was unhinged. And yes, he was. This is episode 1 of a 2-part episode. Part 2 that comes, we'll do next Tuesday live. It'll be all like TV adapted, like mini series, actual TV series, TV movies, which include anything that was direct to streaming, like last year's Salem's Lot, 1922. Was it 1922? For some reason, it just stopped my mind from working. And Gerald's Game, and
Sometimes
so
they
like,
come back.
yeah,
And
sometimes they come back. There are movies like Rose Red, Storm of the Century. Will be on there. The 1990 version of it, the 1979 version of Salem's Lot, the 2004 version of Salem's Lot, the 1997 version of The Shining could be on there. It's all of those that were made for TV. That's our next list. Castle Rock may be on there. You never know.
Yeah.
I do. So does he, actually. But yeah, so we'll have the same question, but for next week. Carrie. There was a made-for-TV Carrie, came out in 2002, that I didn't like. Maximum Overdrive. There we go. There's the answer I was looking for. Maximum Overdrive. I think you're right. I went to Sleepwalkers, but Thinner is actually, I saw it in the theater, and I actually like that movie, and the effects works really good in that movie because they take the lead from being 300 plus pounds, down to a frail, skinny fella, and not to mention that on the Gypsy guy's nose, that ugh. So yeah, Thinner's better than people give it credit for, I think. Firestarter's underrated. Is it?
It's hard for me because like I read the book for the first time like 2 years ago, and then I saw the original movie for the first time like right after.
Yeah,
and I really enjoyed the book. I don't think the movie really captured
no.
the spirit of it.
Ooh, Emily's right. I like the last year's Salem's Lot. Firestarter should have been a television show. It felt like a television show. The original movie, like the way it was directed and like the overall feel of the movie felt like it was made for TV, but it wasn't.
There's so much they could
fucking Night Flyer. Hell yeah, totally forgot about Night Flyer. I've never seen it.
I forgot about Night Flyer.
I totally forgot about Night Flyer.
It's
on YouTube apparently to watch. Yeah, absolutely. Alex Breeding with the W today. There's a lot of them though. Like I agree. I think Salem's Lot last year was pretty damn good. I liked it quite a bit actually. It was in my top 10 for 2024 out of the 40 plus I saw. Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, Stephen King. There's another Graveyard Shift is another one not everybody likes, but some people do. I'm not quite fond of it, but it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I think of that, there's another song. No, it's Firewoman. Never mind. Fire.
So, could I actually list sort of an opposite thing? What's a film adaptation that I don't like?
Yeah, real fast, just so you know, and if you have, because Night Flyer is incredibly hard to find. It's not available on DVD, Blu-ray. There's a DVD, but it's extremely expensive. It's hard to get, but it is streaming. Somebody uploaded it to YouTube, and it's a very good transfer apparently. So if you haven't seen Night Flyer, which I plan to watch because I've never seen it, it's available on YouTube. Go ahead, Seth.
So this may be blasphemy for certain people, but The Running Man. It's The Running Man in name only. I absolutely love the book, and that's why I cannot wait for the new film from Edgar Wright, because I'm hoping that it's going to be closer to the book than the Schwarzenegger movie. So the Schwarzenegger movie is, fun for what it is, but because of how much I love the book, I just don't really care for that movie.
And on that note, we're have an announcement to make. Seth is leaving the Horror Syndicate. No, I get it. The Running Man's a fun ass movie, but I know, and I've never read the story that's based on or anything like that. But man, I love that movie. It's so much fun. It's stupid fun, And it's Arnold.
The book is just awesome. That's all I'm going to say.
Isn't that another one they're talking about remaking or doing a better version or something like that?
Yeah, Edgar Wright is shooting that right now.
Oh, so it'll never get done. Sorry. Fucking Edgar Wright, man. I don't trust that dude. He makes good stuff. I don't trust him to get something made unless it's his own stuff. He ends up getting into arguments with studios and shit.
No, but they're actually filming.
They're actually filming it? Okay, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I believe they had a trailer or something that they showed, or some footage that they showed at a convention recently.
So, before we get to number one, we did every year from the 1980s, from 1980 to 1989, our top 10. Check those out on our YouTube channel, please, if you haven't seen them before. There are also YouTube shorts and reels on our Facebook page for those of you who don't want to watch the full episodes. They're like 35, 40 seconds long. Make sure you like them and share them. But we're just trying to spread the word. We are, Seth, I don't know if you know this, but we are so close to 70,000 followers on Facebook. Like 600 plus away. I know it sounds like a lot, but we've been trending up with followers a lot, like crazy lately. Because not 2 months ago, we were in the mid 67,000s. So I appreciate everybody who follows us. I would love to have 300 or 400 people on here, but we would never be able to keep up with the comments. So I do appreciate everybody who follows the Horror Syndicate. So does Seth, even though he bitches about everybody every day.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dark Tower was not good.
See, I didn't watch the movie, and I've never too many puns. That's Arnold for you, though. All right. Anybody have any guesses what number one is for our top 10 film adaptations for Stephen King? If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button, share it, subscribe. We need all the support we can get. And check out thehorrorsyndicate.com. There is a review for a movie called Gush, indie horror film. Nathan did the review for it, and I'll be reviewing a movie hopefully very soon called Only Fangs. It's an indie horror film about vampires. Not like Only Fans, but Only Fangs. Yeah. I did a review for the guy. They want to be on the show, actually. I did a review for his movie. I think his name is Paul Ragsdale, a great guy. And he's doing what he can do and make movies, But he did a movie called Murder Size last year. And it's kind of like an 80s sexy exploitation movie, titties and blood and fun movie overall. I got a soft spot for indie horror. And, a lot of this was built, the Horror Syndicate was built on indie horror, like when The Barn came out, or 1031, or, God, what are some of the other ones that we really covered heavily here? Terrifier, we were one of the first to cover Terrifier when it came out. We had David on the show. So we love indie horror. Volumes of Blood. Nate makes indie horror movies. One of our compadres. So number one should come as no surprise. It is Stephen King, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I don't know that we need much to say much about this. It's definitely not the same as the book. One of the few Stephen King novels I've read, but it's still a great fucking movie. And Stanley Kubrick directed the fuck out of this movie. So much so that there's an entire documentary called Room 237 about the hidden messages in the movie that Stanley Kubrick left behind. Great documentary, by the way. But The Shining, I mean, there's not much to say about it because we knew it was going to be number one, and it's if you say the word name Jack Nicholson, I feel like The Shining is the first thing most people think of, if not the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Seth?
So The Shining was a movie that, like, even as when I was a kid, like watching it like on TV, edited for TV, it still scared the crap out of me as a kid. And it's one of those films that's just so well directed. There's so much great atmosphere, and I love the minimalistic score and sound design for it. I get King's complaint to a certain extent that Jack Nicholson is Jack Nicholson, and there's not much of a big evolution with the Jack character, but I do have to put this out there. I don't give a shit what Stephen King says, because Stephen King praised the Dark Tower movie, and that was nothing like
He
the
did?
Dark Tower. Yeah. The Shining is just a fantastic horror film in general. Yeah, took liberties with the story, but it's just so well done. And again, it scared me as a kid. So I mean, the lady in the bathtub, that part scared me as a kid. The twins in the hallway, that scared me as a kid. I think it's such a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about this movie, and I know we've done I know at least one show with the Discourse crew on The Shining, but it's a phenomenal movie. Uh, a lot of it has to do with isolation, and Jack being off the wagon and being stuck there with his wife and his kid and trying to write a book. And I couldn't imagine being in a situation like that. I always try to put myself like, would I be able to do that? Be in a place for how many ever months it is by myself or with I couldn't even imagine doing it alone. Even though there's nowadays you probably could, because you got the internet, there's tons of shit to do. But back in 1980, no fucking thank you. And you start seeing things. You got the ghosts in the hotel, and I love the end of the movie when she's running around and she starts seeing the people, the ghosts and stuff. Great party or whatever the guy says. He must have a splitting headache. Oh, but I don't know. This is such a great movie, and it's Shelley Duvall doesn't get enough credit for what she does in this movie, because she's kind of annoying, but you get it. You kind of get why. And of course, Kubrick treated her like garbage while filming the movie. But Jack Nicholson, man, this is a masterclass in acting, in my opinion. Great fucking film. And I don't care what Stephen King says either.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite memes that I saw back when I had Facebook was in Jack's defense, he was just trying to get some writing done.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, it's true. So that's our list. I'll recap it before we're done for the night. We're almost done for the night. I just want to remind you all, if you haven't subscribed, I know I keep saying it, but I want to see the subscriber count go up, because we got a lot of great shit, and you won't miss an episode of the show. But if you subscribe to the Horror Syndicate on YouTube, I'm going to pull up some of our episodes real fast. Actually, it seems like it's going real slow. But Seth does Werewolf Wednesday every single Wednesday. And what he does is he's got a whole list, which you can find on the horrorsyndicate.com, like a schedule of what he's doing. But he talks about different horror movies that are based on werewolves that you may not have seen. Some you have seen. Like last week, he talked about a movie called Blood Moon. We did Horror Syndicate Discourse. We did Video Store Memories about a week and a half ago, which I missed half the show because there was a tornado near me. Last week, Seth and I, we ranked the actors who played Jason Voorhees. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. We did something called the Evil Dead Paradox a couple weeks ago, which was a fun show, and we discussed all the Evil Dead movies in short and talked about possibilities of the 3 books after Evil Dead Rise and the future of Evil Dead. So there's a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing more versus episodes like we did the Wicker Man versus Midsummer and talked about like comparing and contrasting each movie, because a lot of people say, oh, Midsummer is just the Wicker Man. And I say to you, it's not. So we did top 10 horror remakes. There's a lot of stuff. He just did his duology on the Wolf Cop movies. So please check out the Horror Syndicate on YouTube, because there's a lot of stuff on there you may have missed. If you like hearing from me and Seth, we may not be able to answer you, but if you leave a comment, I will see it. Seth will probably see it because, you know, he checks the YouTube every day.
Yeah, I do.
Just to see, they like to see if there's any comments. So, and sometimes we'll do episodes where we just talk bullshit, and we might do another one of those coming up where we just chat with you guys, which I actually really like those. We did a whole episode on breaking down the news of Matthew Lillard returning to Scream, because we love the Scream movies. So there's a lot of stuff that we do here, and it's mostly live stuff, but that's because we like having the conversation. It used to be almost like a roundtable conversation with the guys. It's good times. And I really appreciate every bit of support that we get, for sure, 100%. The Simpsons parody of The Shining. I did see this. Treehouse of Horror, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you rate the Halloween movies? Not yet. We have before. I'm holding off on the Halloween movies right now. We're closing in on 200 total that we in this new round of rating. I'm keeping track of them like we just did on April 26th, all of the Alien movies, from Alien to, what was the last one called, Romulus, and then we did AVP and AVP2 as well. But yeah, I'm trying to hold off on Halloween movies because I've done Elm Street. I haven't done the Texas Chainsaw movies either. And remember, I'm the one posting all these. So if you guys wonder what I'm thinking when I post weird, like today I did John Carpenter's The Thing, one of the greatest horror movies ever made, one of the greatest movies maybe even ever made, and The Thing from Another World, because that came out 74 years ago today. But I also did Chud for some reason. I don't know what I think about when I put these up sometimes. Sometimes I'll do a whole series, a whole franchise. Sometimes I'll just do random shit that pops in my head. I think we did a Stephen King one today, and In the Mouth of Madness. Oh, I think it might have been Christine. But anyway, it's just fun. Any news on... I don't know anything about that yet. I would love to see what happens with that, because from what I hear, the 4K for the original film was kind of a mess, especially with the box art. And that's something that is big up for me. The box art there was a promo images from Freddy from the third movie. Like, why can't you get that shit right? You know, like, come on. Why can't you just use the fucking original poster art? Or, you know, there's tons of artwork out there from the first movie. No, let's throw together something that has Freddy from part 3 in it, from fucking idiots. Scream Factory did a great job with Halloween, and Scream Factory did a great job with Friday the 13th. Logo USA released a fantastic Phantasm set. It's just, some people just don't know. But we're going to go through the list, the top 10 real fast, and then we'll get out of here. Next week, again, we'll be doing the top 10 Stephen King made-for-TV adaptations. Guess what number 1 is? You'll never guess. Seth, you know. I'm not going to even bother asking you. I already showed you the list. I heard the transfer was awesome, but the box art is a big stickler for me. And I mean, I've got the Blu-rays here behind Superman, because the Blu-ray set sucked a big fat dick. Number 10 was The Dark Half. It was a great segue, right? Number 9 was It, Chapter 1. Number 8 is Needful Things. Number 7, Carrie, a period piece. Number 6 was Misery. Number 5 is Silver Bullet, my favorite werewolf movie. Where does this rank on your list, by the way?
It's in my top 10. It's like 8, I think.
Dr. Sleep comes in at number 4. The Mist comes in at number 3. Number 2 is Pet Sematary, and number 1 is The Shining. I feel like the top 2 are undoubtable. I know your top 2 were Needful Things and The Dark Half, but if you really think about it objectively and not subjectively, which is how we made this list, you got to say Pet Sematary and The Shining are probably Stephen King's top 2 adaptations. They got to be up there.
Yeah.
But this was a fun list to make. It was a hard list to make, and I'm glad. I want to thank everybody who watched and commented. We had a lot of great. That may be on next week's list. We had a lot of great interaction with everybody out there. Seth and I both thank you. I think Seth does.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. No, yeah, I do. Thank you.
Well, Seth. Everybody knows about Seth, right? Seth, do you even know about yourself?
From what I understand, I may.
I don't have it queued up.
Yeah.
Let's try that again once more with a feeling. Seth, you're what?
An asshole.
There he is. Everybody, Seth, an
asshole.
All right. Can anybody tell me what that's from? And not you, Seth.
No. I'm curious if anyone's gonna. I mean,
from that little sound clip.
For me, it's this, but I don't know.
Scare Shitless Podcast. Thank you. Oh, it's awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like that little sound clip. Can anybody tell me what that is? From, I mean. Wait, one more time.
An asshole.
Seth, if you'd like to tell him, go ahead, because I don't think you're going to get it.
It's from American Werewolf in London.
There you go.
Jack is talking to David about his funeral and how Debbie Klein seeked solace in the bed of Mark Levine, who Jack refers to as. There we go.
An asshole.
You're going to Camp Blood, ain't you?
Uh-oh. So that's all. That's our show for the night. Thanks everybody for joining us again. Thanks for anybody who subbed, liked, all that good stuff. What about Evil Dead? No, it's not from Evil Dead.
It's been a long time, man.
That's a long time.
Yep.
We will be back next week on Tuesday with part 2 of the Stephen King adaptation top 10 list. Seth, what's tomorrow's movie?
So tomorrow I will be talking about the film called The Amityville Moon.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's not great. I didn't want the show to just be the ones that I like, so I'm mixing it up.
Is this going to be a 13-minute episode?
Well,
I mean, a 13-second movie. The Amityville Moon. It sucks. See you next week.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually the way it goes is like I'll talk about like a film for like maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then after that it's just interacting with people, talking about different things about the werewolves or whatever. So it's mostly bullshit, and I'll talk about a certain movie and I'll try to get people to let me know what they think, but most of the ones that I talk about, no one really has any comments.
Make sure you add in at least 1, 2, maybe 3 Labrador Dawn, references. I think it's needed at this point. Also, anybody who has any ideas from a show that you'd like us to try to do, or a versus you'd like us to do, because we're going to be doing a show on The Wicker Man very soon, not the original one, but I think we're going to do that on a Sunday night on Discourse with Nate, because we're going to force Nate to watch it, and then we're going to force Nate to tell us that it's a good movie. He will.
Show that fuckers.
Yeah. Again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Horror Syndicate and like everything that we do. You all are beautiful. Good night, Seth. It's great seeing you again, my friend, and I'll see you very soon next week. Right? Got a surprise for you.
I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next. Must be Tuesday.